Hello, it's Holly again. Welcome back. So today, to build on last week's theme, it was mental decluttering. So this time I wanted to focus on physical environment decluttering. And there's usually something we can always work on. There's one area of the house that just collects stuff, and we're always too busy to deal with this stuff. So then it piles up and mounds up and falls over and generally is a nuisance. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is why. Why do we want to declutter? Like I said, it can be a nuisance that there's one place in your house that tends to gather stuff and keep it forever and ever and ever. Secondary factor is finding stuff. If I've put everything away and it has a home, markers live in the cabinet next to the TV, and if you open that, there's going to be pencils and crayons and markers and other writing instruments all gathered together there in one spot. So if you want a writing instrument, go there and look. You'll find one. It makes for easier cleaning. Having everything put away in a home makes it a lot easier. I used to be a house cleaner, and there was people that had little dog statues all over their furniture. Little China dog people everywhere. They never cleaned them. They would kind of dust over them slightly, but they tend to get really dirty really fast. And the only way to actually clean them was like to take them to the sink and wash them with soap and water and then dry them very carefully. And then some of them had felt bottom, so we had to be sure that the felt bottom either didn't get wet or we dried them completely before we put them back. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of time to do that. And in my house, I'm not willing to do that. I don't have little statue things around. What I have out is what I need to have available. Everything else is not out. It's put away. It frees mental space by having things put away. You know where they are. If I need a towel, I know where I can go grab a towel. If I cut my finger, I know where I can go get a Band-Aid. I don't have to dig through a massive box that, I thought there was a Band-Aid in here somewhere, and I keep digging, dripping blood everywhere. It helps you be organized, and by being organized physically, it helps you be organized mentally. I know where the things that I'm going to need for my next project are. I can go and walk over, open this cabinet, get my marker, walk over to that cabinet, get the pad of paper, cut myself on the way, go to the bathroom, find a Band-Aid quick. It helps you that you don't have to process more than what you're actually trying to do. You don't have to stop and go, where am I going to find this? Where's that going to be? Oh no. So the biggest thing is why. Why do we want to declutter? I like to have my house look nice. I like when people come over, it's a comfortable space, not like absolutely, magazine spotless, but it's a comfortable space. People feel like they can walk in, sit down, relax. There's not like stuff falling on them. And I grew up in a house with some cluttering people. My parents were Depression era, so they kept wax and string and tin foil. I have some of those tendencies too, but I don't need to keep all that. I can go to the store and buy new tin foil. I don't need to keep all of the tin foil I have. I do keep some if it's clean and I have a spot for it, but as soon as I have one in that spot, I'm not allowed to keep anymore. Setting yourself boundaries. It's another good thing. I'm only going to have what's in this space or what can fit in my drawer, that kind of thing. So then the how. There are a million decluttering videos out there on YouTube that you can look at and find ideas and see how different people approach it. Marie Kondo does like all the books in the whole house into the middle of the living room floor. And then part of that is the shock value of seeing all those books, seeing all those clothes, whatever the thing is that she's doing, all of that stuff in one space. It shocks you and you're like, I need to get rid of some of this. I have way too many books. So that's one way to do it. That's one plan. You can also do it by use, scrapbooking supplies, all the scrapbooking stuff, or sewing materials, that kind of thing too. Soap, thread, needles, buttons, fabric, bobbins for the sewing machine. All the sewing stuff is gathered together, put into a bin. If I do want to sew, I can pull out the bin, spread out my projects, and start. Okay. Most people don't have the actual extra physical room that you can just have a craft room and you shut the door on it when you don't want to craft and you're done. We have to use that room as well for a guest bedroom or an office or the kids' play area. And you don't want to leave the needles out when the kids are out because that's going to end in a disaster. So sorting them by kind, books to books, use, sewing materials with sewing project, by categories, and that's a more loose thing. I have office stuff in my office, and I know what office stuff means to me. If you ask me where is such and such, that'll be in my office stuff in my office, and I know the difference between like my daughter's colored pencils and coloring books and my office stuff, and they could overlap, but they don't. They don't. In my mind, her colored pencils are distinctly different from my office stuff. I have business supplies, things that I'm going to use in my business, in my office, and that's where I keep them. So by category, and that's the thing, it can mean anything you want it to mean, just that you know what is assigned inside of it, so that I know when I say all my office stuff, I know what kind of things that is. A pair of scissors, some paper clips, highlighters, post-it notes, pads of paper. Those are office supplies. And I do have other bits in other spots that aren't office supplies. Those are personal supplies. And then the other way to sort things is by space. I have this bookshelf. It has 4 shelves on it. I can put whatever I want in the bookshelf as long as it fits in the bookshelf. So we'll use books as a category. I usually put books in my bookshelf. Sometimes I have a couple boxes that I keep that I got from my daughter and my husband. I collect tins, boxes. So I have extra tins and boxes. So what I can fit in that bookshelf is what I'm allowed to have. As soon as I have too much, then I need to get rid of some of the old books or boxes that are in my bookshelf, and then I can fit in the new ones. But it's always this is how much room I have, this is how much space I'm going to use. Whatever doesn't belong in there goes. Doesn't fit. Okay. So the way that I do things is to make a map of the storage spaces in my house. Start in the kitchen. Above the microwave, there's 3 shelves. Below the microwave, there's 2 shelves, and keep going through the whole house. And then, okay, the top shelf above the microwave is going to be weird bake supplies, stuff that I don't use super often, but I do want it to be available because I love to bake. It has like the sprinkles and the food coloring and the stuff like that. I don't have kids in school, so I don't make a lot of cupcakes projects, but I like to be able to, if something happened and somebody's, oh, there's a bake sale for blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll make some cupcakes for that. I have the stuff I need. I don't need to go out in the garage and dig around. I know where they are. They're in the top cupboard above the microwave cupboard. And the next shelf down is tea, honey, and hot chocolate. All the things you use together, except for the cups. And then the bottom shelf is spices and baking powder, baking soda. Again, kind of part of my baking stuff. And as long as I go through the kitchen and I label, this is going to be this things, this is going to be those things, this is going to be that, and then I make what I have fit in that space. I mean, sometimes you may run into, you know what, I have extra, lots of pots and pans. I need another extra space for pots and pans. Or maybe there's 2 that you really don't use very often. You can put those away or back, like on top of the refrigerator, the one nobody can ever get to. Then if you really, really, really want that one pot, you can get on top of this, a chair and get on top of the fridge and get it. So my thing is space. I use the space that I have and decide that's what I can keep. I can keep what fits in my dresser for clothes. That's the room I have, and if it too many clothes, they won't fit in my dresser, then I have to get rid of some. And that's just the way my mind is. It works really well. It works really well for kids because I'm like, well, what you can fit in your toy box is what you can have. So pick up your favorite toys, put them in your toy box. Then pick up your second favorite toy, put them in your toy box. Kids are really, really good with that because they can see how full it is, and they put in their toys, and they're like, oh, I want this, and I want this, and I want this, and I want this, and I want this. Pretty soon they're jamming them in there. The lid won't shut. And I'm like, well, if the lid won't shut, they're not in there. So you need to take some out so the lid shuts. So which ones do you want to take out that you can give away to someone else that you don't really play with anymore? And maybe it's a long process for them, but I think it's important that they learn how to think about things and how to sort out priorities. I really like this. This is my favorite doll. So of course they're not going to get rid of that one. But what about this doll? Do you sleep with her ever? Do you ever play with her? I don't think you've played with her for a while. I haven't seen her drug out in the living room. Do you, or this doll, which one do you like better? And then just think, if you always offer two choices, they're always going to pick, I want A or B. It's really simple for them. A, B, and C, depending on the age of the child, they might be able to do that. But if you always just present two choices, they'll be able to pick this one. And then again, you pick another toy. Now which one? This one. Now which one? This one. Now which one? This one. And you just keep going through all their toys like that. It's pretty simple. And for them, it does make sense that they know how much space they have. If it doesn't fit in the shelf, in the toy box, in the cupboard, whatever it is, then you'll need to get rid of some, okay? So the map of the spaces, going room by room, and then sort and remove what doesn't belong in that room. I have laundry baskets. We usually have laundry baskets. So, or boxes. You can go to like liquor store, get some boxes, and label the boxes: bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, living room, extra room, and then start. I set them inside my room to start with, and I go through the bedroom, and I'm like, what in the bedroom does not belong in the bedroom? Oh, these nail clippers, they go to the bathroom. Oh, these dishes go to the sink. Oh, these leftover packaging materials, they go into packaging materials out in the garage, and just keep making piles. What doesn't belong in space A, and I chose the bedroom, whatever doesn't belong in the bedroom goes into the box that corresponds to where it does belong. It does belong. You can have a box that's labeled I don't know, or in the garage, because we have a garage. In the garage, I don't know, and then you have to find a home for it. If it's something that you really want, then you'll need to find a space and a home for it. But you can put no home right now on the box. Put everything in the boxes that doesn't belong in the bedroom. Okay, and then take that box to the living room, bedroom, kitchen, extra bedroom, whatever it is, and jam them away. It's not a super precise process right now. Just jam them in the bathroom, in the kitchen, wherever they are. And then go back into the bedroom and pick a space to sort, just the closet. So today I'm going to do the closet. That's it, just one project. And so go through the closet, look at what you have in there, decide what you want. If it doesn't fit you, get rid of it. If you are pregnant, you may want to consider keeping some clothes from prior pregnancy that you really, really, really enjoyed, but only the ones that are just like absolutely, oh my God, I can't imagine not wearing that again. Okay. The same thing with maternity clothes. If you're going to get pregnant again in the future, keep the maternity clothes that really felt well, that really did a good job for you, that looked, whatever you needed to look, if you're officey or if you're at home, that were super comfortable or that looked nice and you could tolerate wearing them. Because sometimes they're really bad. They chop you into pieces. And I had a maternity dress that was it was beautiful, but it was terrible to wear. Decide what you're doing. And again, pack them up. Put maternity clothes, put, after the baby clothes, label them, sort them, get them out of the space for right now, depending on the timing of I'm done with the baby, I'm going to have another baby. But don't have them in your space if you're not using them on a weekly basis, a monthly basis. We'll say monthly. If you're not using them on a monthly basis, then they need to go away. Like winter clothes, summer clothes. The same thing when you're sorting your closet. These are all winter clothes. These are all baby clothes. These are all after baby clothes. Keep sorting and stacking into piles, whatever makes sense for you in your mind. So then, so we've done the closet. We keep working on it. Every week, work on a project, finish the bedroom closet, finish the bedroom dresser, finish the bedroom desk. The bedroom's pretty much done now. So another thing that I do is have a basket in each room or box that whenever I find something in the bathroom that does not belong in the bathroom, I put it in the box at the door, and then next time I go away out of the bathroom, I take it and I put it where it belongs. So if it goes back in the bedroom, I put it back in the bedroom, that kind of thing. So if you can get, these can be small bins, just something that every time you leave the room, look in the bin and go, oh, there's something for the bathroom, and that's where I'm headed. So take it and put it in the bathroom. And that really helps to keep things restocked. You can train your kids to do this, and give them a nickel or a quarter for every empty basket they make, because there's, 2 or 3 items that go to the bathroom, there's 2 or 3 that go to the bathroom. They run around and empty all the baskets, they get a quarter or they get a nickel, whatever works for your children. It's not hard. It can be overwhelming in the beginning, but like I said, take it one room space at a time, one project at a time. It's not going to be something you accomplish overnight. It may take a while to retrain your kids, your husband, whoever is working with you to do this, but just train them. Well, when something doesn't belong in the bedroom, put it in this box. And then when you leave the bedroom, take whatever's in that box and put it away in the kitchen, or put it in the extra bedroom, or put it in the living room, wherever it belongs. Everything has a home, and everything has a spot where it needs to live. And if it's not in the spot where it needs to live, take it next time you go by. That's the biggest thing I've learned, is just constantly ferry this to the bedroom, this to the bathroom, take that back to the kitchen, take this from the kitchen back to the bedroom. Just keep going. Every time you get up and move, take something with you. Never leave a room empty-handed. Take something along for each trip. And then I talked about this a little bit for the maintenance part, taking stuff that doesn't belong in the bedroom and putting it in the box. And then when you leave the bedroom, take it from the box and put it back where it does belong. It can be as simple or as hard as you want it to be, but it can be done. And it may be a long process. And then there also is emotional items, things that your father left you, or your sister who died. And I understand that, but again, pick a beautiful box or container that reminds you of them. And then what you can fit in that container is what you can keep. And think about it. You don't need to, especially emotional items, don't throw them away right off, but be like, I have what I want in my box, but I'm going to keep these for 2 months. And at the end of 2 months, I'll shift out anything that I don't want for something I do want. And then I'm going to get rid of that box. Give yourself a little bit of time to think about it for emotional items, especially people that have passed away. But you can do this. You can make your space the way you want it to be. It does take some work and some effort, but I am so much more peaceful when my environment is sorted and in shape. My husband even notices. He doesn't think that he is, but when the room's clean and sorted, he comes in and he feels refreshed, and it makes such a difference on your mind that you can look around and see space instead of clutter, and that the space makes sense. And again, it's whatever makes sense to you. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody else, but it makes sense to you that this is here and that's there. These things belong with those, and this thing belongs there. Sometimes I have crazy configurations, but if you ask me where something is, I will be able to tell you. And I don't know exactly where it is, what it's labeled as. So I want to thank you very much again for the physical decluttering. And if you have any suggestions or things that have worked for you, please post them down below. And I will look forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you. Bye.